Don't agree with that. I don't sign off on that. You're 7-2. You had injuries yesterday, right? Kayshon Boutte, and I don't know that that's going to be a long-term issue. Ramondre Stevenson did not play in yesterday's game. Our guy, Christian Ellis, got dinged up in that game yesterday. Gonzalez came back, dinged up. If no other reason, you should be – and you don't have to go and do what the Eagles are doing and trade every draft pick you got for player after player after player. They made another deal today for Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. I get if Miami doesn't want to trade him in the division. I get that. Worried about your picks and building a program and being a sustained winner, there's something to be said for all that. There's also something to be said for capitalizing this year. So I would just disagree with Greg Bedard and anybody else who feels that way. But the closer we get to tomorrow's trade deadline, Keefe, that feels like the team's stance. I've heard that from enough reporters, national and local, where that feels like the team's stance. Unless they get a no-brainer of a trade where it's just too much value to pass up, they're not making a trade tomorrow.
Yeah, no, and you don't need to trade your next 3 first-round picks or whatever.
Right.
Like, nobody's asking for that, but I don't know how you don't look at this year and tomorrow's deadline differently than maybe you would have a month or two ago. Because even if you thought, hey, we might be pretty good, or we're going to be way better than we were last year, and even if the record was somewhat similar, but maybe you lost the Buffalo game, maybe you lost another game in there, one of these close ones, and you're like, hey, yeah, you're like a wild card team. But right now you are leading the division. You have a MVP candidate at quarterback. I think him individually, just take him. Drake Maye's playing so well, so much better than I think we anticipated, that why not mess around and try to be a real contender for this season? Like, it seems like the opportunity is right there for you. And so if somebody's available, especially, we talk about this maybe more so when it comes to, baseball, but the teams around you are going to be making some moves. So the Colts and the Broncos and the Bills and all these teams are pretty close. What if they make a couple of big swings? And then you're sitting back saying, well, no, this is like a 5-year plan. It
100%.
It can still be a 5-year plan, but you go kind of more aggressively for this season.
I also just don't, the Commanders are struggling, and it's like, they're struggling because they added good players? I don't agree with that. Like, if we're talking about day 3 picks, I'm with you. I'm not talking about trading a 1 or a 2. We're talking about some of these 6. You have extra 6-rounders, like crazy. You have extra third. You have picks in the 4th and 5th round. That's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about a premium day 1 or even high day 2 pick. But something to add a player between now and then, and I don't think Washington's that much of a cautionary tale. I don't think they regret giving up a 6th-round pick. Or what they give up for Debo, a 5th? Like, I don't think they should regret that. I don't think that's why they're 3-5. I think they're 3-5 because their quarterback keeps getting hurt.
Correct.
I don't think it's because they traded for a wide receiver and gave up a 5th-rounder. Is wide receiver higher on your list with Boutte missing time yesterday?
Well, it would be, although I'll tell you what, Pop Douglas, I think we owe an apology to. Pop Douglas has been a lot better than I thought, and he was not on the list of guys that I thought had great chemistry with Drake Maye. And then yesterday, I'm starting to change my attitude on that.
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
I still think they're not. You could see on some of the deep shots, and it might be his frame compared to Boutte, or just, Boutte's great at tracking that deep ball.
No, I mean, if Kayshon Boutte's out for an extended period of time, then it would
make an add.
It would go up. But I think Diggs and Mac Hollins and then Pop Douglas is way better today than I would have guessed 3 weeks ago. Like those 3 guys I think would be serviceable. I mean, they know better about the Kayshon Boutte injury, but Pop Douglas was a big surprise yesterday. I mean, maybe the biggest positive surprise.
First 100-yard game of his career.
Yeah.
And we'll hear more from him coming up later on in the show, but a difficult 24 hours for Pop Douglas, to be sure. 617-779-7937. Let's go to the phones. Brian in the truck has a betting question for us, Keefe.
Great.
We always like these. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I just needed some advice from Cash Out Keefe. I got a 4-6 hit on the touchdown parlay.
All right, Cash Out.
Bam Knight and George Pickens to score tonight. I bet 1 ham.
Yep.
Can cash out for a third of a PS5.
Ooh.
But a total would be 3 PS5s.
I think you let it ride.
Let that ride?
I think both those guys are going to score.
Okay.
Don't you? Bam Knight's going to score.
I think
the Cowboys defense is terrible.
Is going to score.
Pickens? The over-under in the game is 54.5.
Look, I would feel good about both scoring, but it's a nice payday for that ham you plunked down.
Listen,
so look,
let it fly.
Let it ride. I'm with you, Keefe. I'm not the cash out king over here. That's you.
Yeah.
So let's let that one ride. So that's our advice to Brian. How about Richard in Salisbury on a thought from the game yesterday? Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good morning.
Hey, just want to point out one thing that yesterday's game, and a win is a win. We'll take it, and I'm not making excuses for Dre, but that play before the half, they're on a drive. They got momentum going. They're about to score either 3 points or they might put it in for 7. Okay, and the referees put the ball down and ready for the snap, and then they call a timeout because the referee crew didn't know if it was a first down or not, and that kind of killed the momentum. It seemed like the offensive line wasn't ready for that snap because as soon as the clock started, as soon as they put the ball down, and I think that kind of set that whole thing in motion. That I'm not making an excuse for Maye, but
well, I mean, it's a bit of an excuse. I mean, Richard, I understand it. If they're not ready and it throws them off or it messes with their momentum, I wouldn't put that on the refs. I'd put that on Maye, who I didn't think had his best game yesterday, and yet they win 2 more touchdown passes. He's got 200-plus yards and 100-plus quarterback rating again. So if that is a down day for Drake Maye,
yeah,
I would say that's still a really good day. But the turnovers are something you want to obviously clean up and correct.
I mean, if you rank every game that he has played so far this year, so they've played 9 games. That was probably his.
Yeah, you said third worst earlier, right?
7th best.
Yeah,
as Joe says there.
Raiders game was worse.
And I would say, the 2 losses. I'd put it on the 2 losses.
Probably, because, I mean, he turned it over the same amount in the Pittsburgh game, right?
Yeah.
But those led to a loss. So, yeah, that's probably the 7th best game he's played.
So it's the worst he's played in a win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
Okay.
617-779-7937. Patriots continue to win 24-23 over the Falcons. It's Patriots Monday. Jones and Keefe live at Gillette Stadium. Let's get back into that ugly win. Are there any reasons for concern with the Patriots heading into a big one with Tampa this weekend? We'll get to that with all your phone calls next.